Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I know those of you who we can see have already gotten their blood moving this morning in one way or another. Now let's get our breath moving and sing a song of praise. Hava Nashira. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah. 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 Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira. Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah.
Ross just sent a new link. I'll send it to you. It's passing.
Shabbat Shalom. Even though we are in our separate sanctuaries, we make them sanctuaries with these words.
May the one whose spirit is with us in every righteous deed be with all who work for the good of humanity and bear the burdens of others, and who give bread to the hungry, who clothe the naked and take the friendless into their homes. May the work of their hands endure, and may the seed they sow bring abundant harvest.
The blessing for our bodies. Whoops, that's better. Asher Yitzar et Adam b'chokhma uvarabo nikavim nikavim chalulim chalulim Asher Yitzar et Adam b'chokhma uvarabo nikavim nikavim chalulim chalulim Kalui veyadua ibnei chisei chavodecha she'im yivatech echad mehem o yisateh echad mehem אי-אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך ברוך אתה אדוני רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehoragi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol basar ish.
Please join me in rising if you're comfortable doing so for Nisim B'Chol Yom for our morning blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan nesach pi bina levchin bein yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka aretz hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish haramim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layahiv koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir shnei me'enai u'tenuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani bat chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozeh Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozeh Yisrael b'tifara. One more. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshenu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. You can have a seat if you've never risen.
We seekers of God, how do we find you? In good deeds and in the study of Torah. In your search for us, you find us in the bending of the knee, in the rigor of study, in the honesty of commerce. through a good heart, through decency, in respect, true fellowship, companionship, and love, through truth and peace, in the no that is really no, and the yes that is really yes. Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah li'amo Yisroel.
Oops, did I miss one? Okay, I'll start this then. Oh, fine. So we can think back to all those who've made an impression on us over the years. For our teachers and their students, and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
It is good to be back with you all. And thank you. And I have a little one sleeping next to me. So while I had him up a little earlier, I'm not going to pick him up now because you don't wake a sleeping baby. So for our question this morning, I it's been a few months of being relatively isolated, and of trying to find blessings in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of tragedy and violence and difficulty. So what's one blessing that you have found to keep you centered during this time? So most important is your name, and then what blessing have you found to help keep you centered? And Josh, I believe you are coordinating this, yes?
Sure. Okay. So in alphabetical order by Zoom name, Bob Gelman, you're up, and then Bruce, and then Dave.
Tough being first. I say the blessing I have is my beautiful wife of 59 years, Anne, and my children, and my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. Unfortunately, I'm so far away from them all.
Bruce Antonoff. That's kind of a hard one to answer, but I think I found a great blessing in Zoom, being able to connect with people from all over the country and even from our local community. That allows us to stay in touch, and that's been a great blessing.
I guess it's me, David Hirsch. Well, there's Anne, having her here, being married to her. And then just being able to continue some of regular life, getting out on my bicycle and actually still working and having that be, part of my life that is different than just sitting around the house.
Elizabeth, then Esther and Eleanor, and then Floby.
Well, I guess first of all, I have to mention Jerry, who's been a great companion. It would be hard to be isolated without him. And I think part of it is also just continuing through this crazy time to actually maintain health, that we're not succumbing. So I think that continued health is a big blessing. And Bruce, I agree with you. Zoom has made a great difference in feeling able to do things intellectually, spiritually, and connection with people.
Esther Nathanson. Well, as you know, Harvey died in November, my beloved husband. And when we put him into in-home hospice, Eleanor and Peter and Benjamin came to stay with us. And they just stayed. And they're still here. When the pandemic came, they were still staying with me. So that, of course, is my very greatest blessing. I'm a very fortunate woman and very grateful, and thank you.
Flo Chapman, two blessings. One, of course, is to have my husband by my side, so I am not alone. And the second is the outdoors. The outdoors gives me lots of relief.
Toby Chapman, of course, the parks that we have here are just amazing. But kind of a special blessing is we have 3 grandchildren. 2 grew up here in Pittsburgh. And of course, we got to know them very well, and they're very loving, and it's just great. But we do have a grandson in Savannah, Georgia. And I always had the feeling, he will never know us the way that our granddaughters do. But because of the pandemic, we play games with him almost every day via the internet. And it's just a wonderful blessing, and just the connection with him that will last his lifetime.
Frank, Jake and Rebecca, and Jan.
I am thinking of the daily walks that Carolyn and I take in the neighborhood was the first thing that came to my mind.
And who are you?
Frank Schwartz.
Jake Jacobson. So clearly it's the people that are the main blessing, and other than Rebecca, who's my constant companion, I've had Samuel and Leah here at the house, and they've been awesome to have here for the summer. And I think I'm going to put them in top tier for my summer blessing. So I'll leave it at that.
I agree with that, and also will add that for me, it's been a very interesting experience of for the first time in my life, having my home kind of be the place where I pray. That was not something that I normally did. And it's really interesting to blend those things in a way that probably I might not have done otherwise.
I think the thing that stands out to me is that on Friday evenings now, we do the candle lighting and blessings together. My daughter's in Cleveland. We use FaceTime, which has been around forever, which I've never used. And it's become really a tradition that I know we're going to continue no matter where she is, no matter where we are. And it's been a lovely addition to my life.
Jerry, Joe, and Laura.
I would like to reciprocate and say Elizabeth and I celebrated our 53rd anniversary of marriage together, and she deserves a medal for standing me all these years. The other blessings I would say are, as you know, I run for my mental health and physical health. And I've just started with a new tutor studying Italian. And I'm excited to try to keep my brain alive in these tough times.
Next, first thing that hit me was like Bruce, Zoom has in fact allowed us to get together with a lot of people. I've got cousins all over the country who we've met, and I've only met physically 2 or 3 of them, but there are dozens more that we've enjoyed some time together, getting to know each other. We were supposed to get together later this month. It's been postponed to July of next year. So we're all looking forward to being able to do that without masks and without restrictions. Other than that, I'm happy to be able to still do most everything else. So, enough about me.
First and foremost, the picture of my grandson behind me. Actually, he has been a wonderful blessing for me. I had, the opportunity to have my daughter and her husband and grandson move in right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think that somebody knew what was going on, because and the other thing that keeps me going is I am very thankful for all the projects that I have going on at my house. And I'm actually getting some things done. So I'm thankful for that reason.
Lori, Lynn R, and then Lynn N.
Hi, Lori Mulvey. I just feel really blessed with health. My whole extended family, who many of whom live in these really terrible hot spots, and people really at risk with immunosuppressed grandson. And everybody's healthy. So far, so good. And I feel really, really blessed with that.
Hi, I'm Lynn Rubinson. A lot, I think, of blessings. I agree with everyone that the technology has enabled us to keep in touch. And I'm actually on Zoom meetings with a couple different groups of friends that we might see each other once or twice a year, but we're Zooming together every week. Also some porch visits and distance dinners, picnic dinners with friends. And my son, my 30-year-old son, who we're always been close, but he's never been a phone talker, calls me much more often. And that has been a blessing.
Other Lynn, I am also feeling blessed by Zoom, because otherwise I would really be by myself. I'm taking the isolation pretty seriously. So I'm thankful to be able to see friends and family by Zoom and by FaceTime, because normally I would have taken at least a couple trips by now to North Carolina that got canceled. So thank you, Zoom.
Marcy and Tom, Michelle and Natalie.
Hi, Marcy Morton. Well, Tom is one of my blessings, and the fact that I'm an introvert certainly helped me get through this.
I'm Tom. Actually enjoying Marcy crushing me at Scrabble.
I'm Michelle Clark, and several things. One, I have a front porch and a back area to sit outside in and enjoy the birds. I've done more pot gardening in the back, and just to be able to sit out in the fresh air. I think if I lived in a place that didn't have easy access to outside and open doors, that would be it. The other thing is to be able to escape to a place that is not a hot spot, which is Clarion County, where our son and daughter-in-law are, and to be able to get on the river and get into the forests up there. And also to see them up there more often, because often they're, especially our son, is dropping in on the city, which he just refuses to come into Pittsburgh. So that's been wonderful. Also been taking some lectures on Zoom, which I wouldn't have normally done. I wouldn't even necessarily have gone to a lecture. I'd gone to a show rather. So I've been thrilled with particularly picked Pittsburgh Irish and Classical Theater, where their lectures, especially right now in Shakespeare, are just brilliant. So it's really interesting to shift gears.
Natalie, hi. I actually, the first thing that came to mind was Marcy's answer. I never thought I'd say this, but being an introvert is a huge asset right now. Also, the parks and my cats and people that I'm still able to connect with.
Mimi, Babanaya, and Ronnie.
The question is my blessing in the summer. Is that it? I am, I'm feeling really blessed that I have discovered that the things I thought were super important are not. And I'm blending in with what really is important, which I like a lot.
Babanaya, or Ronnie, you can jump in.
Well, go ahead, Babanaya, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were going to ask us to unmute.
Well, for me, having Bob here, I mean, having both of us together is such a wonderful thing. And then my ability to enjoy the garden that my husband, the gardener, has planted with new things blooming all the time this time of year. And then some wonderful Zoom meetings and classes, a couple of excellent Osher classes, the searching for stories for Rosh Chodesh for next year, which I mentioned before. A group of us are really, it's really an adventure doing that in itself.
So I'm Bob, and my life hasn't changed that much with this. And so the highlight of it before and now is having dinner with Aya kind of every day. And then probably at a much lower level, the thing that really has changed and is a blessing is the senior hour at Trader Joe at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Okay, this is Ronnie. First, there's the safe and nurturing spaces of my house, the outdoors, and even Zoom, much to my surprise, reaching out to other people, not the obvious ones, in addition to the obvious ones. But the blessing that is a surprise to me is the fact that we have had so many protesters in the streets, and the protests, as far as we know so far, have not been major sources of COVID expansion, infection.
All right, Ruth, Sarah, Tanya, and then Tom.
Unmute yourself, Ruth.
Okay. The biggest blessing that I have is right beside me, sitting down. He's been wandering around, and that's my husband, Marvin, because on February the 28th, he fell. And through this whole pandemic, he was recovering from an injury in an operation and doing very well. And so that is the biggest blessing that I can think of. The second, we're so happy. And there, Mark, you can see they're all cheering for you. There it is. Good. And the second blessing, my son Todd, who made it possible for us and did all the grocery shopping. My daughter Suzanne, who came in from Boston. My two grandsons who came in, one from Boston and one from St. Louis, all helping me. It's been absolutely wonderful. My friends from Temple Sinai, I could not have done without all of you, and particularly people who walked with me at a certain distance because I walked every single day. So I have many people to thank, and I want to tell you how grateful I am to everyone.
Okay, so one is sitting on my lap. This is Belle, my cat. Copernicus, who's my son's cat. They've been very helpful. I have to agree with Zoom, but specifically the nice thing about Zoom is being able to see people, but this week especially and last week, being able to do Hartman and being able to learn with so many people and see friends that I would have had a chance to see in Israel. And I have to tell you, I also got a great deal of pleasure preparing today's Devar Torah, and I hope it all works.
I'm Tanya Bass, and I agree with many of what people have already said, but I think the thing that has been the most helpful for me is the fact that the weather's nice and that I can get outside and be out in nature and get away from the news and the media and all of the craziness that's going on and just have a little peace.
Tom?
I'm here. Hi, everyone. Tom McIntyre. I know it says Thomas the Bold. I thought it was Sunday.
treated myself to a couple Ray Harryhausen Blu-rays. So I was up late, uncharacteristically late. I was married for 15 years, and then I had lived with somebody for 10 years, and it's kind of weird. I had a couple years of being by myself. But when I get home, as aloof as cats are supposed to be, I yell, "Daddy's home," and I hear big old Bo hop off the bed, boom, boom, and it sounds like a toddler running down the hall. And then Muffy will sashay in a couple minutes later, and I go, "Hi, you're here." And they really, they do change it from an apartment to a home. And I wasn't going to say it, but other people have said it. It really, Temple Sinai as a whole, I don't want to sort any people out, but everyone's been great. I think I'd have lost it by now over the past decade. So that's it.
All right. If I missed anyone else, unmute. And while I go, I'm Josh, and Solomon is just off the screen this way. Solomon's blessing are our cats, and mine is time with my teenage boys that I probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
For me, it's twofold. One, getting to spend time with and getting to know everyone in Temple Sinai. And also there's been a tremendous amount of learning and connection with other rabbis and with people around the country and around the world.
Cantor Berman, for me, when I think about a number of different things, I remember, and this has been so topical in the news in so many ways, but just that ability to take a deep breath. And to take a deep breath, to remember health, the ability to sing with all of you and others, the ability to be out in the parks and breathe in some nature, and to take a deep breath as I have a budding preteen in the house.
And Karen Gorbin, I've had many blessings during this time, not the least of which is my little one, but even more than that, my mom came out towards the beginning of the pandemic and has been here ever since. I'm not actually sure that she's ever leaving. That's her decision, not mine. And it has been just an amazing help to have her here and to have her support, and also more time than I think we have ever spent together since I was probably about Yuval's age. So that's been an incredible blessing. Thank you all for sharing your blessings during this time. And we are going to continue now with Thomas.
I said before, I love this opening line. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world was, as we think of all those blessings that we've shared. Baruch she'amar v'haya olam, Baruch hu, Baruch oseh bereshit, Baruch omer ve'oseh, Baruch ozer kayim, Baruch merachim haaretz, Baruch merachim al habriot, Baruch mishalem sachar tov l'reach, Baruch Adonai v'kayam la'netzach, Baruch bodeh u'matzil, Baruch shemo, lai lai la 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 la, lai la 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 la, la 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 la, lai la 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 la. Let's continue. Hareini mizamenet et hi lehodot u'lahalel u'shabeach et bori. With this do I prepare myself to thank, praise, and glorify my Creator.
Blessed are you, sovereign of life, whom we praise with songs of glory. We have a guest.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום, ליום השבת. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשם העליון, להגיד בבוקר הסליחה ואמונתה בלילות, עלי עשור עלי נבל עלי היגיון בהינות, להגיד בבוקר הסליחה ואמונתה בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בהינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשם העליון, להגיד בבוקר הסליחה ואמונתה בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בהינות, להגיד בבוקר הסליחה ואמונתה בלילות, עלי עשור עלי נבל עלי היגיון בהינות. צדיק אתה אמור יפרח כערש בלבלון, יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצות אלוהינו יפליחו עוגנו בסבב, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו.
That was awesome. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yahalelu chasela. Ashrei ha'am shekalo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohai. Tehillah leDavid, Eromimecha, Elohai hamelech, va'avarcha shimcha le'olam va'ed. בכל יום אברכך ואהלל שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר. דור לדור ישבח מעשיך וגבורותיך יגידו. אתה כבוד הודיך ודברי נפלותיך עשיך. וזוזרותיך יאמרו וגדולתך אספרנה. זכר רב טובך יביעו וצדקתך ירננו. חנון ורחום אדוני, ארך אפיים וגדול חסד. טוב אדוני לכל ורחמיו על כל מעשיו. יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, חסידיך יברכוך. כבוד מלכותך יאמרו וגבורתך ידברו. והודיע לי בני האדם גבורתו וכבוד הדר מלכותו. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים וזוקף לכל הכפופים. עיני כל אליך יסבר ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו. פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל רצון. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מעשיו. קרוב אדוני לכל קורב וכל אשר יקראו באמת. רצון יראיו יעשה ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם. שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו ואת כל רשעים ישמיד. תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו ויברך כל בשר שם קדשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך ים מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה.
אנחנו נברך ים מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה.
Ilu finu male shirak hayam. Even if our mouths were full of song as the sea, and our tongues full of joy and countless waves, and our lips full of praise as wide as the sky's expanse, and were our eyes to shine like sun and moon, if our hands were spread out like heaven's eagles and our feet swift like young deer, we could never thank you adequately, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, to bless your name for a 10,000th of the many myriads of times you granted favors to our ancestors and to us.
I don't know about you, but that sure got me into a much different space than the one I woke up in. As we turn towards the heart and soul of our service, please, if you're comfortable doing so, join me in rising for the Chatzi Kaddish as we prepare for Baruch Hu. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba b'yalamad v'rachirtei v'yamlech v'chutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael b'gala u'vizman kariv yimeru amen Yehi shemei Rabba v'vorach v'olam le'al me'al maya yiparach Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yibar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei l'kudesha וכולי אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושפכתה ונחמתה דמירן בימה ויאמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Can I have a seat? Let's join together in the Hebrew or in the transliteration. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvarei choshech oseh shalom uvorei et hakol hameir la'aretz veladarim aleha berachamim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam bechokma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארוך סלה. אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears who led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amot Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Moshe kivod malchuto leolam va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובעבדך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך
וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו תותפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, אמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף לטיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, עשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And what is my lifespan? I'm like a man got out of Egypt. The Red Sea parts, I cross on dry land. 2 walls of water on my right and on my left. Pharaoh's army and his horsemen behind me. Before me the desert, perhaps the promised land too. That is my lifespan. Israel, Umal Bezrat Israel, Uvdechinu Mecha, Yehuda Israel, Lo Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Israel, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Israel. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agitei Latecha. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agitei Latecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agitei Latecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agitei Latecha. Baruch Atah Adonai
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mitpanei HaKol, V'zocher Chazdei Avat V'imahot, U'mevin Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayek Nechuotara Le'Hoshia Morid Hatam Mechokel Chaim Bechesed Mechayek Hakol Berachamim Rabim Samech Noflim Berofel Kohanim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato L'Sheyei Afar Nichamocha B'Gilurot U'Mido Me'elav Melech Levid U'Mechayeh U'Matzliach Yeshua B'Ne'eman Ata L'Chayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol.
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרזל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Change that key. Yeah, that's still too low, sorry. Let's do that again. Yes, no, it's still too low. Yes, mechu. One more. Right. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. Yes, mechu v'malachotecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, mekadeshei Shvi Shabbat. Kulam yispe'u v'yitanogu mituvech Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. V'ashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Chendat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת, זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, V'imotenu, Ritzei b'mnochatenu, Yagshenu b'mitzvotecha, Ten chelkenu b'toratecha, Sabenu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'taher libenu, Le'ovdecha me'emet, Ve'anchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ahava u'ratzon, Shabbat kodshecha, Ve'nuchu Yisrael mekadshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. We continue silently. Baruch atah Adonai, mevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
So following Rabbi Gibson, it's always hard to know what stories are known and what stories aren't known. And this is two parts. So the first part will be this week and the second part will be next week. You'll have to tune in again, the suspense. So there was once a man named Yussel, and he was known in his community as Yussel the Miser, because Yussel was the richest man in town, but Yussel would never give tzedakah. But it was very strange, because people would come to him and Yussel would listen, then turn them away. And for many, many years, it went on like this. And Yussel was getting older, and the leaders of the community came to him and said, Yussel, if you don't begin giving tzedakah when you pass away, then the Chevra Kadisha won't bury you. Yussel said, I'll do what I'll do, and that was that. A few days later, he passed away. The Chevra Kadisha didn't do the burial, but a few people took pity on the family, and on Thursday, he was buried. Friday morning, something unusual happened. Someone came to the rabbi who had never asked before and asked for tzedakah, and just a few rubles. And the rabbi, of course, provided. Just a little while later, another person who hadn't asked before came. And so it went throughout the morning. And then something occurred to the rabbi. The rabbi asked the next person, did you ever ask Yussel for tzedakah? And the person said, I asked just once. He invited me to come in to have tea. He listened to me. But once he heard me, then he yelled and he chased me out of his home. But the next week, I found an envelope early Friday morning at my door, and it had the money I needed for Shabbat. The rabbi asked the next person, and so it was the same, 5, 10, whatever number of rubles were needed to help the family, help the individual through Shabbat. And then the rabbi realized that all these years, Yussel had been helping people in secret. And so the next morning in shul, as the Torah was being read, right before the Torah reading, the rabbi announced to the congregation, my friends, what I've learned all these years is that Yussel silently has been helping everybody who was in need that ever went to him. And so he was no longer Yussel the miser, but it was Yussel the holy miser. A coda, a question. So Yussel was in heaven, and People ask, so was Yosel happier in heaven and or on earth? And Yosel missed earth because there were no tzedakah envelopes to provide on Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom bimroma uyaseh shalom aleinu oseh shalom bimroma uyaseh. Oops, I jumped the gun. Shalom aleinu. One more time. Oh, say shalom bimroma uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. We turn our attention now to our Torah service. Our Torah reader for this morning and our Darshanit for this morning is Rabbi Sarah Perman. And Rabbi, maybe you can lead us in the bracha.
I'm having problems with the visuals that I wanted to include. They're sideways, so you may have to look at them sideways. I was only able to flip one of them. Okay, so Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. So our parasha this Shabbat is from a Pinchas from the book of Numbers. I'm going to be reading the fourth Aliyah. Actually, I was going to do it from my Tikkun. I have a Devar Torah to give after I've done reading it. But the basic story is that last week, at the very end of the parasha, Balak, Pinchas, who is the grandson of Aaron, kills two people, an Israelite man, I should say, and a Midianite woman who are copulating. And meanwhile, there's also been this orgy going on. And 24, I think it was 24,000, but there's a huge number of people who were killed as a result of their bad behavior, not just the man and woman, but really the Israelites who were consorting with Midianite women. By Pinchas's action, he puts an end to this plague that's going on. We also have in the Torah portion the allocation of land to the different families of the tribes. One family, Slofchad's daughters, come and complain they've been left out of the allocation because there are no sons in the family anymore. And Moses consults with God, and they are found to be right. That's the section I'm going to read this morning. And land is given to them. We also have, I should say beforehand, we have a census. I'm going to make a reference to that. And we also have a listing of the holidays that were to be observed. And then we have Joshua, who is appointed to be Moses' successor. So it's a pretty full Torah portion, but the section I'm reading deals specifically with the God telling Moses that they have a right to the land. Okay, so let's see. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. The Lord spoke to Moses saying, Kain benot Slofchad dovrot. The daughters of Slofchad have spoken appropriately. Naton titen lahem achuzat nachala betoch ache avihem. And you shall indeed give them a possession of inheritance among the brothers of their father. V'havarta et nachalat avihem lahen. And you should pass the inheritance of their father to them. The el bnei Yisrael tidaber lemor. And you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, Ish ki yamut, if a man dies, uven ein lo, and he has no son, v'havartem et nachalato levito, you shall pass his inheritance to his daughter. Ve'im ein lo bat, but if he doesn't have a daughter, unetatem et nachalato le'echav, then you shall pass his inheritance to his brothers. Ve'im ein lo achim, and if he has no brothers, unetatem et nachalato le'achei aviv, you shall pass his inheritance to the brothers of his father, in other words, the uncles. Ve'im ein achim le'aviv, and if the father, his father doesn't, if there are no brothers of the father, unetatem et nachalato l'she'ero hakarov elav mimishpachto v'yarash ota. Then you shall pass the remainder of the inheritance to those, you shall pass the inheritance to those who remain who are near to him, in other words, from his family, and he shall inherit it. And it shall be for the children of Israel as a law, a judgment according to that which the Lord commanded Moses. V'yomer Adonai el Moshe, and the Lord spoke to Moses, Ale el har ha'averim hazeh, go up to this Mount Aravim, v'ra'a et ha'aretz asher natati livnei Yisrael, and see the land which I am giving to, or will give to the children of Israel. U'ri'ita ota, and look at it. V'ne'asafta el amecha, you shall be gathered to your people. Gam ata ka'asher ne'asaf Aharon achicha ka'asher meritem pi b'midbar Sin. As your brother Aaron was also gathered, when you rebelled against the word and the wilderness of my word in the wilderness of Sin. B'merivat, ha'eda lehaktisheni b'mayim le'enehem, hem me merivat kadesh midbar Sin. When there was a dispute at the of the community to sanctify me with the waters in their sight, these are the waters of Merivat Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin. V'yidaber Moshe el Adonai lemor, and Moses spoke to the Lord, saying, Yifkod Adonai Elohei haruchot l'chol basar ish al ha'eda asher yatsa lifnehem va'asher yavo lifnehem va'asher yotziem va'asher yiviem. And let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, appoint someone over the community who will go out before them and who will come in before them and who will bring them out and who will bring them in. Lo tiyeh adat Adonai katson asher ein lahem ro'eh, that the community of Israel not be like a flock of sheep who has no shepherd. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, and the Lord said to Moses, Kach lecha et Yehoshua bin Nun, take to you Joshua the son of Nun, ish asher ruach bo, the man who has a spirit within him, v'samachta et yadcha alav, and put your hand on him, v'hamadata oto lifnei Elazar hakohen, and set him before Elazar the priest, v'lifnei kol ha'edah, and before all of the community, v'tzivitiha oto, and command him le'enehem, before their eyes, v'natata mehodcha alav, and give of your glory to him, lema'an yishma'u kol adat b'nei Yisrael, in order that all of the community of Israel may hear, v'lifnei Elazar hakohen ya'amod, and before Elazar the priest he will stand, v'sha'al lo b'mishpat ha'urim lifnei Adonai al piv, lifnei Adonai. I want to make sure I'm stopping where I'm supposed to stop. Let's see. And he shall stand before Elazar the priest, and he shall ask for him a judgment from the Urim before the Lord. Al piv yetzu ve'al piv yavo'u. Before according to his mouth, that is what the oracle will give, he will go out, and according to it, he will come in. Hu v'chol b'nei Yisrael, he and all the children of Israel, ito, with him. V'chol ha'edah, and all of the community. V'yas Moshe ka'asher tziva Adonai oto, and Moses did as the Lord commanded him. V'yikach et Yehoshua, and he took Joshua, v'ya'amidehu lifnei Elazar hakohen, and he set him before Elazar the priest, v'lifnei kol ha'edah, and before all of the community, v'yismach et yadav alav, and he put his hands on him, v'yitzavehu ka'asher diber Adonai b'yad Moshe, and he commanded him just as the Lord had spoken through Moses. Okay, Devar Torah. I hope this works with the visuals. And like I said, otherwise you'll have to tilt your head. I've always been fascinated by languages, and Hebrew's no exception. I love the way that commentaries over the years have played with the letters, and in this week's parasha, we find lots of plays with the letters. As I told Cantor Berman, I asked to read this parasha for the strangest reason. There's a Hebrew pun on this parasha. I imagine those more knowledgeable of Hebrew will get it, but I will explain it. Okay, this is the pun, and maybe Josh will unmute everyone, see if anybody has the answer. Sof sof chat chala v'chat chala sof sof v'noach be'emtza mizeh. I'll say it again. Sof sof chat chala v'chat chala sof sof v'noach be'emtza mizeh. Does anybody know?
And is in the beginning, and the beginning is in the, whoops.
Yep, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, Aya.
No, I don't have it. I was just explaining it, translating it for Bob. Sorry.
Okay.
Noah's in the middle.
Right.
Yep. Anybody have it? It is the name of the parsha. It's Pinchas. Sof, sof, the end of the word sof, hey, or fey.
Oh.
And the beginning, hatkala sof sof, and the beginning of the word sof is a samach, which is at the end of the name Pinchas. The Noach be'emsa, and Noach is in the middle, so you get the word Pinchas. I got it. And I think Laura got it because she's laughing. Sof, sof, chat chala, the chat chala, sof, sof.
Noach.
Noach.
Nun chet in the middle.
Nun chet.
Right.
Chet in the middle.
Okay. Anyhow, in this parasha, as I said, we are told that Joshua, who's been appointed Moses' successor, will not have direct contact that Moses had with God, but rather he has to consult the Urim, or elsewhere it's known as the Urim and Tumim, a kind of Jewish Ouija board that was on the breastplate of the high priest. Interestingly, when I Googled Urim and Tumim, I discovered one could buy such an item, though I am not sure it works as the biblical one did. And you can do it, and they show it as like two rocks, one that's light, one that's dark, says Urim, Tumim. I don't know why somebody would want to have those, but anyhow. The words Urim, light, and Tumim, completeness, that's what they mean. And it's found on the seal of Yale University, standing for light and truth. Although for Yale, that's how they interpret it, as light and truth. I did find a commentary that noted that Urim starts with the letter of the first Hebrew letter of the alphabet, the Aleph, and Tumim starts with a Tuf, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And it got me to thinking that perhaps the answer to whatever questions were asked of this oracle, of this Umim and Tumim, were found within the entire language. Or another way to see it is that the word emet, which starts with an aleph, ends with a tuf, and has a mem in the middle, which is the middle letter of the Hebrew alphabet, that too suggests that truth encompasses everything, that there are many possibilities, and that there's neither a yes or a no. And so the idea that this Urim and Tumim could be seen as having all the possible answers that the individual was seeking, even though it functioned really as more as a Ouija board, as I said, in terms of you could only ask yes or no questions of it. One more fascinating element of this week's parasha and the alphabet can be found in an amazing Torah scroll that the synagogue in Greensburg, Congregation Emmanuel Israel, had. They were going to bury this scroll, but I have it now because although there's some people who probably realized what it was, it is it's pasul, it's not usable at all. And we had scribes who looked at it and told us it was beyond repair, or it would cost a fortune to repair. The Hebrew script is unlike any that most people have seen. And now we're going to try and see if I can share this, Josh. File. Okay, we're going to start with this one because this definitely has it. Okay, if you notice in the center, the pays are different. There is a pay with a double pay inside of it. And there is another pay right below it that it's referred to as a bearded pay. Okay, and this Torah also has like lamids with flags on them and a dancing chet, which I can show you, but it's going to be sideways, and dancing aleph. I was told by a scribe that every decoration that's on this, and let's see if I can find another one of them. I don't know if I can make this bigger. No, it's just going to move. Oh, and I need this one. Let me see if I can flip it. That everyone has a comment to it. It's not going to let me do this. Okay, let's see how I can make it bigger though, because I do need it bigger. Oh, Josh, can you help me figure it?
Sarah, do you want me to share the ones that you sent me?
Yes, okay. Because the next one, this one, it has a very unusual large nun in it. At the end of the word mishpatan, which is at the end of verse 27, chapter 27, verse 5. That's the dancing chet. There's the double pays. Go one more. There we go. Okay, so if you can see, there's a very large letter. Yes, there it is. Okay, mishpatan, perfect. Okay, and it's not like any other nun, although you have a final nun here. Sorry, yeah, a final nun here. It almost looks like the kuf and a final nun here. But if you were to look, and I did send Josh another place where we have Aharon HaKohen in this text, it's not like that. The large nun is part of, we have occasionally large and small letters, okay, within the Torah. And Mayam Loez, who I've quoted before, he's a Sephardic commentator, suggests that the large nun that we find in this text is to focus our attention that the 50th, because nun stands for the number 50, the 50th gate of knowledge was closed to Moses. And that's why Moses had to take Tzlofchad's daughter's case to God, okay? As I was doing some more research, I found something else very interesting, although you don't see it in the Tikkun. Okay, let's go and see if we can find the other passage. See what other picture you have. There it is, perfect, okay. Now, this Torah was repaired, so the writing is different, but if you focus in on the vav in the word shalom, which is at the beginning of the Torah portion, okay, you might think that it's just in need of repair and the vav is not there. But I found, as I was Googling, an amazing, amazing text that suggests that the vav is broken or severed. And it says where this occurs is that Pinchas is given by God a covenant of peace, but there's a suggestion that the vav is broken to show that he achieved this peace through violence, and that's why the vav is broken. the commentator that I found, I just was blown away by her, and I actually wrote to her after it was late last night, so I'm not sure she's going to answer me. Pinchas, when he kills the Israelite man and the Midianite woman, you would think he'd be punished because he takes the law into his own hands. There's no trial, there's no hearing, nothing happens. And there is this idea he's punished, I use it in quotes, by he and his descendants being given the priesthood because they're under more control. They have more rules. Their life is stricter. There are rules about where they can be, their purity at the times that they have to function as priests, okay? And this educator, museum educator, her name Deborah Thompson, and she has her education in part from JTS, that while Pinchas got a broken piece by killing those who were breaking the law, the whole Torah portion is about repairing the break. And this is what I loved about it. First of all, Thompson reminds us that a census is taken in this Torah portion. And that might seem strange, but the way of taking a census is to lift up our heads, Ze'u Rosh. And what Thompson suggests is that the people after this plague where all these people had been killed and Pinchas with his zeal and they're worrying about what's going to happen, how are they going to behave, they had to be downhearted, they had to be confused, they had to be even embarrassed by the behavior of the Israelite man and even Pinchas's behavior. And so by lifting up their heads, they are being given a number, they're told that each person counts, each person has value. Secondly, Moses had been previously told that when he smote the rock for water a few weeks ago's Parsha, he would not be able to lead the children into the promised land, and therefore he had to appoint Joshua, as I read, as his successor. And that helps repair the brokenness too, because now the people don't have to worry about Moses is getting old. He's been told he can't go into the promised land. Who's going to be our leader? What are we going to do? All this stuff that they had to be worrying about. No, Joshua's going to be the leader. There is a sense of continuity. He's going to be the one who go out before them, take them out, go out before them, bring them in. All of this is taken care of. And so that fixes the brokenness that we see at the beginning of the parasha. Then we have a review of the holidays. And one of the holidays mentioned is Yom Kippur, which is again, a sense of a way to repair oneself, to fix the brokenness, to make atonement. And although Thompson doesn't suggest it, I think the courage of Machla, Noah, Hagla, Milka, and Tirzah, the daughters of Tzlochat, who approach Moses and request that their father's portion be given to them, also helped to repair a situation where not only was there a chance that their father's portion would not be lost, but that the rights of women would not be lost as well. So as you can see, there's much more to the Hebrew letters than just the words. The letters themselves are seen by our commentators, both old and new, to have meaning. And it suggests that the brokenness that we are experiencing today, there's hope for repair as well. Thank you. Thanks, Josh, for fixing things here with me.
Rabbi Perman, that was amazing. And I love that you shared this Torah with us and the insights.
I had a lot of fun doing it, like I said.
I think, and I love what this Minyan is doing and how we're making it just, you know, using all these blessings that we have, like people brought up the blessings of Zoom.
And it might be interesting to discuss this all later when the scribe's able to join us.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
So speaking of blessings, we're going to offer a Misha Berach. Rabbi Perman talked about this brokenness. Where I thought she was going to go was maybe this brokenness between how we sometimes feel
where we are and the place we want to get to, or a sense of the divine. And that's from something we can bring into our Mishaberach, and hoping for that full healing, that full shalom for all those who need it. It's the custom of this Minyan on Zoom anyway to add the names that they would like to be read into the chat. And we will share them with everyone else, or keep those names in your own hearts as we say our Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. So we have the names in the chat. Steve Eng, Carol Rosenthal, Michael Greenberg and Holly Helbine, George Gurneth and Kathy Lowry, all those suffering from COVID-19, Bonnie Cook, Sarah Wider, I assume that's Patsy Fisher, Avi Monroe, Joan Stein, and I'll add Yehuda Ben Gershon. Please, it's never too late, we can always add some more. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha ayavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We turn to the Haftorah. And we have the honor this morning of Laura Fell leading us all in the blessings, which we can sing with her from our homes. And our Haftorah reader this morning is Toby Chapman.
Okay, there we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar bimim tovim v'ratza b'derehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'imei ha'emet v'zedek.
So a tiny bit of background. King Ahab has married Jezebel. She has convinced him to take on her religion, and Jezebel has seen to it that most of the Hebrew prophets have been slain. And that's where we pick up. The hand of the Lord had come upon Elijah. He tied up his skirts and ran in front of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. When Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had put all the prophets to the sword, Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, "Thus and more may the gods do if by this time tomorrow I have not made you like one of them." Frightened, he fled for his life. He came to Beersheba, which is in Judah, and left his servant there. He himself went a day's journey into the wilderness. He came to a broom bush and sat down under it and prayed that he might die. Enough, he cried. Now, O Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my father's. He lay down and fell asleep under a broom bush. Suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, "Arise and eat." He looked about, and there beside his head was a cake baked on the hot stones and a jar of water. He ate and drank and lay down again. The angel of the Lord came a second time and touched him and said, "Arise and eat, or the journey will be too much for you." He arose and ate and drank, and with the strength from that meal, he walked 40 days and 40 nights as far as the mountain of God at Horeb. There he went into a cave, and there he spent the night. Then the word of the Lord came to him. He said to him, "Why are you here, Elijah?" He replied, "I am moved by zeal for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the Israelites have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and put your prophets to the sword. I alone am left, and they are out to take my life." "Come out," he called, "and stand on the mountain before the Lord." And lo, the Lord passed by. There was a great and mighty wind, splitting mountains and shattering rocks by the power of the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a soft murmuring sound. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his mantle about his face and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. Then a voice addressed him, "Why are you here, Elijah?" He answered, "I am moved by the zeal for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the Israelites have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and have put your prophets to the sword. I alone am left, and they are out to take my life." The Lord said to him, "Go back by the way you came and on to the wilderness of Damascus. When you get there, anoint Hazael as king of Aram. Also anoint Jehu, son of Nimshi, as king of Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat, and Abel Meholah to succeed you as prophet. Whoever escapes the sword of Hazael may be slain by Jehu, and whoever escapes the sword of Jehu shall be slain by Elisha. I will leave in Israel only 7,000, every knee that has not bent to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." He set out from there and came upon Elisha, son of Shaphat, as he was plowing. There were 12 yoke of oxen ahead of him, and he was with the 12. Elijah came over to him and threw his mantle over him. He left the oxen and ran after Elijah, saying, "Let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, and I will follow you." And he answered him, "Go back. What have I done to you?" He turned back from him and took the yoke of oxen and slaughtered them. He boiled their meat with the gear of the oxen and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he arose and followed Elijah and became his attendant.
Okay. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sor kol ha'amim Sadiq b'chol hadarot Ha'el ha'ne'aman Ha'omer ve'oseh Hamdaver umkayem She'kol devar emet tzedek Al Haftorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevim ve'yom yom Shabbat hazeh Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Likdusha ve'likduha lehavot utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach Uvahim otah Yiparachim habifi kol hai Tamim leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Toby. Just a few announcements, but please speak up when I finish if you have any more to add. I always have a thank you for the grant from Edgar Snyder for the support of Jewish music in Temple Sinai. I understand there is a family Havdalah and sing-along at 5 p.m. On Zoom, no doubt, and our broader, whatever, general Havdalah for all ages at 8:45 p.m. this evening. If anybody wants to add anything special, email me privately. Tomorrow morning, my Bereit Sheet class is meeting at our usual 10:30 a.m. Anybody wants to join, let me know. Parsha is at its usual time this Wednesday, noon, and those who are members of the Legacy Circle or who want to be between now and Wednesday can join a special Legacy Circle concert with members of the PSO and another guest at 5 p.m. On Thursday, July 16th at 7 p.m., there will be a City Divided, Race, Fear, and the Law and Police Confrontations with Dr. David Harris via Zoom. Certainly this information is all on the website. Next week, we will have our Shabbat evening services live streamed at the usual 7 p.m. time. Rabbi Crystal will be teaching a series on Judaism in the 21st century, so keep your eyes peeled for that information and also for the opportunities to meet Rabbi Crystal via Zoom through meets and greets. Does anybody have anything else to add?
On Monday at noontime, the Brotherhood is getting together for an informal Zoom lunch. And if you don't have the link, you can email me or Joe, and we'll share it with you.
Thank you, Frank. Anything else? Then we can rise or otherwise prepare ourselves for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, ולא עשנו פגעי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגוער עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, שכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כתוב בתורתו, ודעתיו והשבותו אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתנו, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
A poem from Chana Senesh. There are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. For the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. And on this Shabbat, if you are remembering someone, if you are in a period of mourning, or observing a yard site, I invite you to share those names with us.
You can unmute and share them aloud. If you prefer to share them in the chat, please do so.
Your side of my grandmother, Neoma Malkin.
And for all who might be observing a yortzeit or otherwise in a period of mourning, join me in rising for the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. And for everyone else, if you like, you can also join us in rising in solidarity with our mourners. Our mourners will lead the words of the Kaddish Yatom, and you all help to create that unbroken shalom with your participation and involvement in our prayer. Yit gadal v'yit
kadash meraba.
alma
Amlich
malchute
vayechon yomechon v'yeh v'kovei Yisrael v'agala v'zman kavu. Amen. Amen. Yishtabach v'pa'ar v'aron v'mitnaseh v'hadar v'kalei v'kalal. May the good chef breathe good.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbachata v'nechamata
amira
v'ran yoma v'mir. Amen.
Yehei Shlem, I lost my place. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya
Shemaya.
V'Aleinu v'Al
Kol Yisrael v'mir. Amen. Aseh shalom b'mama. Aseh shalom. Aleinu v'Al Kol Yisrael v'mir. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Corbin is going to lead us in what is going to carry us into our own individual Shabbatot.
There's a tradition that before Kiddush, we sing B'Shamra on Saturday morning. So please join me. Josh, do you have the words, or are we going to do this from memory?
Why don't we start by memory and see if I can pull it up?
Awesome. V'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. V'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim et haaretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. U'bayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. Kein barach Adonai et yom ha-Shabbat v'yikadshehu. Therefore God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy. And if you've got some kiddush near you, by all means grab it, and we'll offer a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Anyone got some bread near them?
No, then we will leave it for open forum and oneg for everyone to chat. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.